Hello, please enter your 6-digit conference code. Welcome to free conference calling. The conference has not started. If you are the host, please enter your 4-digit host code to open the conference. If you are not the host, please press the star key to connect to the conference and wait. We will now connect you to your call. Please say your name. Your host has yet to join. Thank you for waiting. Your host has yet to join. Thank you for waiting. We will now connect you to your call. The host conference recording started has joined the conference.
Morning all. All right, we're in session. Kick it off for the folders. Yeah. So you want to go for the big money shot? I know, it's kind of thick. All right. Thanks.
minute. This is in the signature folder, I'm not sure what.
Oh, this is to go insert it into the contract, so it looks like we'll probably just be, and again, it's got lines crossed through, so I don't know why that is. Except it has the 200 days. That's gonna be an interesting one. Because what we're doing is establishing that this is back in the contract, this paragraph here.
Yeah.
Because they don't want anything lined out,
Right.
but
Yeah.
then you have this lined out, so.
Well, it's the only thing is the one phrase that was the end of that paragraph. That's the only thing that had to change.
The liquid damages, yeah.
Right.
But this part, since they said no lined out,
No, it's still, no, Katie basically said the stuff that was in there lined out needed to stay in there lined out, except for changing that liquidated damages one, and we have to initial that and date it. And Brian has to just scan it, email it, or Chris does. Scan it, email it back, and we keep the original.
Thank you, gentlemen.
it has language up there that WAS was. I don't know if that belongs there. I would say no
Which one?
on there.
No, that's Bill's initials.
Oh,
It's William.
William H. Straub. Okay, didn't know the middle initial.
Yeah.
Got me on that one.
Thank you, sir.
Did you want me for it? No, well, yes, I also want you, but I don't need you. Oh, I thought you were trying to get my attention. No, I'm trying to get it.
Chuck, were you going to get me another invoice from the guy?
I sent it down to you. I emailed it over last week.
Okay, I'll look again. Huh?
No, I said with Gmail, but I sent it to him. I can't get it from this one because I sent it from my NH one. Yeah, I'll resend it when I get home.
And you were gonna say yesterday and try to work on that.
Yeah, if we get out of here reasonable tonight, if
Oh,
we get
we're-
out of here at noontime, I'm not doing it today either.
We're getting out of here reasonable today.
Good, thank you.
Yeah.
Yeah, I got so far behind yesterday, it's like,
So that means what, 1 o'clock?
no, we're out of here before one.
We're out of here by 11. Watch it.
But I'll work on it right after that, Brian.
It is 1. I actually forwarded it over to him last night. Go back and go, he did that with us.
I saw what you had, I said, I gotta take this. Oh, yeah.
You certainly can. Yeah. Just saw them. 30 seconds.
Yeah, I know what I get, so.
New construction, under construction. Okay, since there's an interest in supplied, I'm thinking that they probably didn't have a building permit. It's after the fact stuff.
Brian, did you get a look at that Excel sheet that I sent over Friday, where I started to pull together?
That's on the phone, right?
Yeah, and
I did.
Sean from Genuity,
Wait.
I told him either call you direct, or if he needed to have me on a conference call, let me know, we'll set it up, because he has some question about the numbers. And I said, you need to contact Brian to understand how that works. So, because
That's what I was
hunt
saying.
down lines and stuff like that, I wanted to make sure he clearly understood what we were doing, and I didn't have a look.
Oh, okay.
I'm not sure I'm going to know the answer to some
No.
questions either.
But it'll be basically the same information you gave consolidated.
Yeah.
So that we hopefully get something that's an apples to apples.
I would, and if you're willing to, I would just quiz that. Just to say that, that.
When you blow a belt and it damages the whole front end of a
When
cruiser, it's like, it's not cheap anymore.
that's the case. Would you? Thanks. Hey, Randy. Okay. Okay. Let's see.
On these, the, supplemental. When, well, the valuation wasn't completed by the time, because of the COVID and all, by the time the last tax bills went out. These were red flagged, or something that the assessor picked up.
Yeah.
Of course, their value reevaluation. So, it was substantial enough, the increase in their tax, that's why the supplemental warrants. If they did, Gordon said they did it now, so the next tax bill, they wouldn't see this huge for what.
Increase.
Right,
Two of them at one time.
exactly.
But the tax bills have already come out, so.
I know, I don't know how what they do from, going from here. This is what.
Is it automated, or is there like a cover letter explaining what happened and why? So there's no surprises?
What was that, Chuck?
Is it an automated bill that goes out, or can we do a cover letter to kind of explain what happened and why?
I didn't ask for that.
That's Deanna's office, right?
Yeah, I just talked to Glenn, because Deanna doesn't.
And how they processed it.
It's what you said, it was something that was picked up, the assessor, the tax bills already went out, and the assessor finished his report, the red flag that,
They were pickups.
Right.
For the assessor.
and it increased the tax so much
Value.
that instead of putting it on the next tax bill,
Right.
he's like a double whammy to him.
Right.
Shocking. So, that's why they're sending these out now. That's why we're doing these now.
And were they, I'm assuming they had permits, and this is just a part of the normal construction process?
Yeah, she didn't say there was anything about violation or anything.
Right, so they had construction going on, it
Could be new and.
yeah, come to a certain point at that point in time of assessing,
Mm-hmm.
that goes on and had a value at that
But the
time.
bills had already gone out.
Right, so that's what they're picking it up. Going forward, if it wasn't a finished construction, the value could still increase. You had the shell of a garage, but whatever else might go with it wasn't done, we'll see an increase going on.
But I'm hoping we do a cover letter with those, kind of explaining why it wasn't part of the original.
Again, that would be Deanna, so that's why I wanted to talk to her, but I guess she's on yet.
Okay.
You want me to go ahead?
Wesley might know, Wesley might know what the practice is. Usually I try to go to Dee for that, it's her office. I'm gonna get to these.
Yes, Chuck, he's actually working on the cover letter right now, so try to get it out here before the meeting's over.
Oh, cool.
Thank you.
It's actually listed on the new business, so.
Go initial or signature?
Why does it say child account?
Why does it say that?
Yeah.
That's because consolidated gives you the two child bills, and the next one down you'll see is the combining of the two child into a single bill. But we don't know who to bill it out to if we don't look at the child bill. That one there, I believe, is fire, the two combined are fire and transfer station.
Okay. All right.
What's the child billing for?
System of consolidated.
Child, yeah.
It's a consolidated deal that drives us crazy trying to figure
When I
out.
saw child, it's like, oh, that's a red flag, and it's like, but that's a.
Actually,
It's probably an acronym, but it's not in caps. I don't know.
Yeah, it's like,
Usually I pull that.
the parent bill is the total,
Got it.
but we can't break it out if we don't know what the two phones are.
Okay, did you get Mr. Strauss's email this morning about some of these, we had a few, considerations with computer internet services, how they may have been broken up, telephone.
I haven't got his email yet. It hadn't come when I left the house, and I haven't looked since I got here.
Okay, because he's got some items in there that I think are probably worth a review, piggybacking off the conversation we were having yesterday. So when you get the opportunity, he sent us a note. Certainly deserves some answer. Put in an effort. I'd like to find out what he's talking about.
Thank you, sir.
All righty.
You got mail.
Through the phone number, I can tell this is the transfer station. I'm not sure where the rest of the information is that would point me there. You know what I'm saying, right?
Oh, yeah.
Okay. It's not just me, that's all I'm
No, it
looking for.
isn't.
A little affirmation here that, yeah, okay.
Maybe one day we'll get a decent bill, but we can all work.
And it's called the winning lottery ticket.
Is that the 139, Mike?
138.57.
Okay, if you add the other two together, you'll come up with that number.
All right, I see it now on the last page. They have the two charges broken out, which you would add together, which would make you wonder. It appears to be a separate bill. Those are the title accounts that piggyback on.
And that happens on every single line coming in here. And they all don't come at the same time.
Yeah.
That's your street light.
Yeah. Another one. Chuck's gonna go around and put light switches on all the poles. I like it. I am in on that.
Well, I think that line item is going over.
It was trending in that direction. Somebody go pull the cord.
Tom, did you end up signing that, initialing that?
Yeah, at the bottom.
No, we need to do it up near the paragraph.
Oh, okay.
And date it. Thank you, sir.
Good. Yeah.
Yep.
You just decided to pay for the culvert at Bailey Road, we're gonna name it after you. Thank you.
Nice to see. Contacts.
It still needs work. I just couldn't make that,
Update as needed.
yeah.
Nice. That's awesome.
Yeah, you can make any adjustments you need to, that's just a draft.
Oh, that's gonna be real handy.
But that's gonna be the in-house only, because a lot of people don't want that out there.
Oh, yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
In this office. Not giving that out to anybody outside our office. Is that all three?
Oh, yeah. I've had that one, I've had that one.
So, Health Trust, this is all going out, right? Hey, the check's going out for Health Trust. we're at the point we don't feel that there'll be any more communication requirements, Tom, with, previous general assistance officer?
I don't see.
Okay, so you know we're not anticipating that. I gave some contact information to Westy, for other individuals in the area. So
Yeah, that was huge.
she's gonna follow up with that. I had an item in here, so again, I've got her following up, procedure.
So, do we know if she's changed passwords on all the technology?
I haven't talked, she's in there by herself the past couple of days, I haven't followed her much on that.
Brian, at some point, can you just check and make sure that passwords have been changed on that welfare technology? Good point.
Yes, I know she said she was gonna, I don't know if she,
It's okay, I just wanna, check it off the list. Yep, we've done it.
Yep, no follow-up, they go through the cracks, don't they?
Will she be using the same email?
No.
The different one?
Well, from the one I just saw, the communication from that other individual, she won't.
Yeah, it's her name on it.
yeah, but she can't wipe out that individual's password, recreate the new password for now until she gets a new address, I think. But I don't understood.
Okay, we're gonna end up with a new address completely, Brian, for the general assistance.
I have requested that.
I haven't seen anything, so I didn't know that took place.
You put the request in.
Not in for the welfare, I didn't.
I'm pretty
I
sure.
requested it, or not in writing, but
Okay, I know, I'm pretty sure I saw an email to Teresa asking that to happen. I thought it came from you, but I don't remember. I mean, it's one of my hundreds.
You know what the nomenclature was? How did she have it? What was the wording set up we wanted for that? Welfare officer ad or general assistance
General
ad?
assistance at EffinghamNH.net. I'll have to go back through the emails to find where it was, but to answer your question, the password has been changed on that account. And Westy thought that either Chuck or I was talking to Teresa. I know I haven't, and Chuck says he hasn't, but anyway, she sent an email to Teresa right now.
That's best to go through the resume, I think, at this point. Crystal Rock. We get an invoice from Crystal Rock Water. Is there any reason we would not get an electronic billing from them versus the paper invoice? Because as I'm reading the bill here, we're getting a fee for $4 for a paper invoice.
Could be done, sure.
I mean, if this is a monthly bill, let's say $50. We can.
Makes sense.
Okay. Just a thought, I don't know how I never saw that before. I guess we rush through some of these things sometimes, and water delivery got by us.
I'm sorry?
There's another company that does that too. They charge for paper bill.
Well, if it doesn't inconvenience adversely the operation in the office, maybe it's.
It does not, but what I really need to see if we can get that Effingham, town of Effingham at EffinghamNH.net set up so I'm not the only reader.
Yep.
Can you still read on your computer right now?
Yeah, but can I read it on mine?
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay.
Well, at least, I think I'm getting it all. I mean, it's
Let's just check, because with the passwords in the reset mode, I'm wondering if you're still getting them all. When we're done, we'll go in and look at it, work on it.
So another thing that's jumping off the paperwork here is with waste management. There's a balance due for recycling. That one's almost $700, $694 and change.
did I write on it that we paid it already and it's,
You highlighted the amount due, $694, $898.
I didn't highlight it, so.
Okay, well, it's not, the only thing that's jumping off on here isn't the price, Brian. It's that it says, bill to Town of Effingham, attention Claudia Lampier. Shipped to, Claudia Lampier, so maybe that's just a little thing to clean up, I don't know.
Yeah, we've
We've
been
tried to
working
clean
on it, they never changed it,
Oh,
We've tried to clean it up about 6 months,
okay.
but I'm trying to figure out what your,
This is, net balance due for recycling, so it's one dumpster.
yes.
Didn't give a weight breakdown.
What do you, I thought you said it was an overdue bill.
No, it just said
Oh.
balance due. I was just pointing out that,
Mike, you did mention overdue.
did I say overdue? I didn't mean to, so I'm sorry if that came out. It's not
Because
overdue.
there's a couple in there where I wrote down it was paid and the date we paid it.
I misspoke. If that came out of my mouth, it's not my apologies.
But anyway, we've tried to get that Claudia Lampier changed
Okay.
for almost probably a year now.
So I'm not the first to notice it, fine.
trying.
We got 3 or 4 of those that happen on it.
All right, now I'll just go to the citizens. It looks like a credit line possibly.
What they did is Teresa never notified them that we had a change of bank and credit card for the InMotion account, which is our website. And so they automatically charged it to the credit card number they had. That's $15.
And this is going away.
I just talked to Teresa a few minutes ago and told her to fix it and gave her the right number.
All righty then.
That was as much of a surprise to us as it was to you. Christine said, "What is this?"
Yeah, I thought that card was dead.
Yeah. Well,
And I have asked Lori to close citizens' accounts.
yeah, and that's what struck me, is I thought we had extracted ourselves from that facility.
But frankly, I thought we'd extracted ourselves from the credit card a long time ago.
Yeah, just, as you say that, I wonder if there's anything else that,
That's
over the time, somebody's automatically, but once we cancel the card, it'll bounce, and hopefully the institution will get a hold of us.
Yeah. Okay, so street lighting is $630. Don't know.
$630.
Yeah, 630.
It's right on target, pretty much within a few bucks of the budget.
What did we send out with Minuteman? No,
Tax bills.
that's,
Yeah.
Minuteman, I was just,
It was tax bills.
The tax bill. There's two lines on there, one is for the printing of the bill and the other is for the postage.
yeah, got that. Uh-huh. Chris, do you have our point total with, New Hampshire the Beautiful sign?
No,
Every year we get an allotment of points that can be used to,
Well, it says at the top of the page here, we get 60 points.
60 points, yeah, okay.
yeah.
Oh, there it is.
But I was looking through it. I checked one of them, but then I started to look at the one for bottles. And it has ceramic in there. You can't use ceramic. So, other than that, I couldn't really see one that fit.
Yeah, that tends to be the problem, is they have just a standardized, they don't let you play with the wording.
Yeah, that could be, get more familiar artists with that project.
I think they accumulate though. Year to year, I believe. So, you can save them up and apply them to something else, I believe. I could be wrong.
Oh, and the man at the prison said that they have the galvanized poles now if you need them.
Oh, okay. I'll be talking to Randy about that. He is thinking about that. Okay. Did you guys see this historic district correspondence?
Yeah.
Yep.
Inquiring or routing processes? This has been a problem in the past.
Well, it's similar to what's already in the system that we're using right now with COVID, is it not? From planning board.
I don't know, what's the planning board doing? We have
when the correspondence comes in.
but it goes to Nate, right? The recording secretary?
Yep.
Okay.
So there is a process to forward it too, so that's no different.
Well, I guess my concern is having them have an email address. In the past, there was one individual on that commission would get these emails and would respond, started sending out like minutes to certain individuals who requested them in the town on a list, would respond without the boards being involved to things to applicants and people, commission member, and then wouldn't follow up on stuff, falls through the cracks. It just was really not managed well. So I know this has been an ongoing thing, and previously this has been shot down by commission members, and right now, they don't have a functioning commission,
Yeah.
right?
Oh. If I don't show up, then,
And they're dependent on us to provide.
yeah.
I don't know. I mean, I'm not sure where I am with this, but I know the problems it caused in the past. And considering the makeup of that board right now, I don't think there's any cohesive board regulating this.
There's gotta be some kind of a notification process when something arrives here to let whoever know on the commission that there's paperwork that's arrived, because there are certain time date things, just like the board budget committee.
I don't have a problem with the notification of the chair.
Yep.
I'm a little more concerned with the part where it says to have a commission-specific email account created. That's my problem.
Well, it's coming out of the office and going out to somebody. We should have a consistent email policy to make sure stuff gets captured on our database. If you're using an EffinghamNH.net, whatever comes out, you get a record of.
Yeah, and I don't.
If you're using Gmail or something else, we don't necessarily have a record of any of that correspondence in the event of a discovery.
So here again, we say, Chuck, you're in charge, you're the chair of the commission. We send you an email notifying you. You take your email now and you start running off, sending things out. You set up a private email list that you're going to send out things to, which was happening before. Then you say, I'm tired of doing this. Because of the policy in place, now people are like, I don't know. I can see where they could have their own email address. I've seen how this went wrong.
Generic for the committee of the board, just like we have for the rest. But then the town is able to the town is able then to make sure they have a copy of any correspondence going out underneath that address. So if there is an abuse factor, it's identifiable. If somebody's just using an outside email address, there's nothing to stop them from sending anything out to whomever they want to, and we'll never know about it.
All right, so as long as we have access, so that if there's a practice in play that should not be taking place, I think we need to know.
We could then have records of it.
Because past practices, this is why the last chair just wouldn't do it.
But to give you an example right there, so let's say 8 months down the road, somebody had a question.
Right.
We could go into the database,
I get it.
search everything with that email address, and pull up every piece of email that's come in or gone out, and the content, and any attachments.
Okay.
I'm in favor of having more control of the information.
This needs to be watched, I would say, just because the sins of the past, that's my only concern, is that this doesn't happen again. But I get you. I understand what you're saying, so all right.
What folder is that in?
signature. No, mail.
Mail folder.
That just came in this morning.
So you have not seen it yet, is that?
That's correct.
Okay.
Yeah, Eric was here when I came at 9 o'clock doing stuff.
Yeah, there's a laundry list here. For hard copy responses of any kind, stamp the correspondence with the date of receipt. Well, that's standard. Email the commissioner chair to advise that the correspondence is in. Well, we contact them one way or another, so work that out.
That was,
And then the correspondence goes in the Dropbox, which it always does, so.
It's pretty much following the process that's there.
Yeah.
I think there was concern because last week he wasn't notified of something that was in his box. And I'll admit it was probably my fault. But I think that's,
Oh, it's in his box. Why didn't he pick it up?
because he wasn't
He didn't know it was
notified
there.
that there was something in the box.
He hadn't been notified there was anything here. Somebody had said something in that needed to be covered in the meeting.
Honestly, they should check their mail once a week anyway.
True, but you have a 5-day notice in his case with a lot of stuff, so if he checks it on Sunday or on Monday, he comes in and checks it, and something comes in on Friday.
Well, maybe you need to check it twice a week then. It's just an extra burden on the office staff, and oftentimes you can receive a piece of mail and then the phone rings, and then this happens, and then that happens.
Do we have a policy now where we receive stuff and then we put it in over here in the box?
And then we have to email the person, but that's what I'm saying. Now you go back and the phone rings. Somebody comes in and wants that, or somebody wants this, and the phone rings.
And that's cool.
It
So from a
happens.
COVID standpoint, we're just gonna start opening up the building to more people, is what it amounts to.
But I do think that these board members should be responsible for checking their mail a couple times a week. It's their responsibility, they're the chairman,
Right, I
or their
agree.
secretary.
We try to communicate though, that's step one. Try to do
Absolutely.
that, but there is an onus on the chairs to
Right.
take an active role. The response in 5 days, I'm not,
Then we should basically just, as a result of that, send out a note saying, basically, check your box twice a week.
and the response for 5
The
days.
issue's gonna be an issue because the person works the entire Monday through Friday day period, so they're not gonna be able to get in here during the day.
They
They're
can,
open.
they can get in here to get their mailbox.
Does he have a key to
Yeah,
that?
all chairs.
Yeah,
Have a
that's
key?
their-
Oh,
Everybody
perfect.
has.
Okay, I wasn't aware of that, I'm sorry.
So the 5 day thing, I'm a little fuzzy on, what do you mean it's a 5 day?
The one that they just dealt with had a 5-day notice. They had to deal with it within a 5-day period of receipt. That's why stamping it was important and to be able to deal with it, and apparently they did because the way the meeting was.
I'm not aware of any 5 day response.
91A request.
It was a 91A request?
saying it is, but the 91A request, you have 5 days.
You have 5 days to get back and say, we've got
Then
your request.
Mike, I might have misunderstood what it was.
Okay.
But
Well, the 5 day thing kind of troubles me, because usually what happens, if you have something come in, you're notified, so you're aware of it, and if you had a secretary like Nate for the planning board or ZBA, they can come in and go through it and make sure certain things are
Yep.
aligned, but nothing is done with that until the board meets. So a response without the board meeting is one of my previous
Okay.
concerns.
all right.
But, okay, well, it's a developing thing, I just, probably making too much of it.
The problem that it also exists that I discovered at town meeting time, that individual has blind mail. So what happens, you send it to one box, which then sends it to another box. And sometimes that's a problem. I discovered at town meeting time because I asked them to proofread the town report. And by the time it went through the series of transferring boxes, it was too late. The town report had already gone, and sorry, the town report had already gone.
That's not enough.
I know, but that's some of the tracking problem to make sure that that's the
All right, so an email, Chuck says that we can have, it can be scrutinized.
And that's a big support the recommendation, Chuck.
does Nate just show up here a couple times a week, or do we call him and let him know if something's wrong?
Let them know.
Why can't we let the chair know?
It's worked for
Why
the
can't
last
they
100
just come in
years.
and check their mailboxes? Why is it our responsibility?
If we're sending out a notification to other boards for somebody to come in and say, hey, you got something here, there is no reason why we can't send this email out in the same policy.
I'm saying all the boards, check their email, or check their mail, it's their responsibility.
Yeah, well,
Just
I'm not in favor of that, totally.
Goes through the cracks.
Yeah, sometimes it happens.
And I'll even take responsibility for it, because I deal with like
I have no
100
idea.
meal a day, and it's like, when the phone rings.
I
Okay,
don't care as long as they realize that the potential that could happen.
and maybe that should be emphasized, but certainly we should try our best to communicate with them. And the chairs should probably be aware that it's not the worst thing in the world to come in once a week.
Right, why do we do this?
Well, we're trying to, because we get the information and we pass on what we know, it's a courtesy.
I understand that, I'm not saying I wouldn't do it, I'm just saying, I think it should be up to them to check their mail,
I don't disagree.
period. That's it, that's all I'm saying.
Is that all you're gonna say on the matter?
That's all I'm saying, I don't wanna babysit these people.
I think all the committees need to have some understanding. Just in the selectmen's office alone, probably run among the three of us, 200 plus emails a day.
Oh, absolutely.
Sometimes it's easy for some.
I agree, and I don't think it's, unreasonable to ask the chairperson of whatever board, or their designee, recording secretary, signing secretary, whomever they have, come in and check it. I think it's reasonable. All right.
So, let me just see if I get this straight. We're gonna pay Nate a couple times a week to drive up here to check the box, because we can't send him an email that says, you got something in your box?
We should be reaching out to Nate or the chairs to say something's here.
Period.
It's-
And then it's their responsibility after that.
Yeah, because
I'm good with that.
to your point though, paying somebody to come in, that's a decision for the zoning and planning board and budget committee, whoever has an employee. Do you want that person to charge you to your board for that service? Or would you be willing to sporadically, on a weekly, come in and see what's here? Should there be something, maybe that's when they say, there's work for you to the employee, would you come in? I don't know, but it really, there's an onus on, I think the chairs need to figure out how they want to do business. I don't think it's up to everybody else to solve that. That's just off the top of my head, maybe I'm missing the boat.
All I'm saying is, if we're gonna call out on one, we call out on both.
Absolutely, it's fair across the field.
Or we don't call at all, period.
Yeah, and I think, as practice has been to try and notify people the courtesy when they get the Conservation Commission, Planning Board.
But I think we ought to emphasize the fact that because of the workload,
Yep,
there is no guarantee you're gonna get notified, so it is your onus to make sure you check it.
absolutely.
Exactly.
Because the
So
statute,
help where we can.
the statutes for like a ZBA or a planning board, have timeframes in for certain things, like you were saying. So that is not on us or the staff to meet those timelines. It's on that board or committee or commission, so.
Well said, thank you.
Absolutely.
Took the words right out of my mouth.
We're a team, we're a team, but, certain people have responsibilities and they've accepted them. I can say that because I've been in those positions.
Right.
I have to do those things. So. All right.
Yeah, it's insane.
Did you do?
Oh, this one. Signature. Did I miss any other ones?
I don't know.
Thank you.
I doubt it. That's the first time anybody's ever missed the signature. I'm surprised if we ever. When I got on the board, John Martha handed me a bunch of those. Yeah, over here too. Over here. And then there's another place.
Chuck handed me a few too.
Yeah. There's a lot of signing going on. Yeah.
Yeah.
Mike's signature.
No, not yet.
Did I win money?
No, it's a cover letter.
Okay. Yeah, we do that. Absolutely. Some may be, and some may not.
Correct.
And then it's subjective, neither case.
What was going on? Heard a bunch of sirens, and it's went up this street. Yeah, wait. Well, I thought it was fire. Well, maybe it was. Actually, came up through it. I saw, but I heard, in the distance, I think, when they come up, I can hear them coming down 25, so 153, and then they fade out. Figured I'd go right to the source, but wrong source. Well, you were sleeping.
Did you ever find out whether that traffic device was out on State Road?
Yeah. To check the speed coming around, so they can pinpoint areas that people are driving way too fast. It's gone now.
Why would,
It was there for a day,
okay. I kinda
and it was removed.
yeah, State Road. Oh. That's fine. Got through everything. You need more folders.
I think so.
Yeah. Randy, you still awake back there?
Yep, good.
Oh, good. Let's remove the one word, correct?
Yep.
Well, I actually,
He modified it.
so it was grammatically correct.
So that
Yep.
word worked in the sentence.
Because A had to be and.
Yep. Understood. That's exactly where I was. I do that a lot, you know, remove that word and then should have went back and changed it. All right, let's see. Let's see if we can buzz through this stuff. Got a manifest in the amount of $49,734.05. I make a motion to approve. Do I have a second?
I'll second that. Second.
All right, all in favor, roll call, please.
Fuller, aye.
Aye.
Cahalan, aye. All right, minutes, June 2nd, regular meeting minutes. Make a motion to approve.
Second.
I just had,
Second by Mr. Fuller.
And edits.
Any discussion?
just a question on this, it's printed wrong or we heard it wrong, on the, Green Mountain Road paving bids.
Okay.
Those cities that are listed here, like R&D paving, they out of Franklin? I thought it was, the low one was out of Franklin.
We have R&D paving out of Franklin. GMI, has listed Laconia. I actually thought they were out of Belmont, but they have a facility in Franklin. So, I've read the addresses off that they provided, and is that, Chris, you're comfortable those are correct, right?
Yeah.
Okay, I'm good with it. Yeah.
Okay. All right.
Mr. Chairman,
Yes, sir.
you've got two sets of regular minute meetings on the second, one for the 9 and 1 at 5.
Okay, yep, and I'll just specify those with the 9 a.m. meeting minutes. Thank you, Brian. So then I'll look to approve the June 2nd, regular meeting minutes of the 5 p.m.
We didn't approve.
We didn't.
Oh, we didn't approve, so we had I'm sorry, we have a motion and a
And
second.
then we had a question as a result of that.
Right, so all in favor?
Aye.
Fuller, aye.
Helen, I thank you for keeping me honest there, Tom. I will, go back and make my motion again to approve the June 2nd regular meeting minutes of the 5 p.m. meeting. Do I have a second?
Second, Fuller.
Any discussion? Hearing none, all in favor?
Fuller, aye.
Aye.
Helen, aye. Okay, June 2nd, non-public meeting minutes. Make a motion to approve.
Second, Fuller.
Second by Mr. Fuller. Is there any discussion here? Were we supposed to seal anything, or does this all look appropriate? I can't remember personally.
I think it was that you had a bunch of notes.
Okay.
I think this one was okay.
All right, Tom, you comfortable?
Yeah, yeah.
Okay. All in favor, please. Roll call vote.
Fuller, aye.
Aye.
Al and I. All right. Had our little tweak to the engineering contract. It's a minor item.
So for folks on the phone,
Yep.
the contract with the engineering firm for the Bailey Road analysis, the state asked that a line in that contract be changed, and all parties needed to initial the change, and that's what that was.
All right, and then there's a yield taxes levied for $251.40. 3 veterans credits, tax credits were approved. Signed tax credit for a solar exemption, and for a disabled veteran, tax credit was signed. And 6 supplemental tax warrants were approved. As probably most people might have caught the earlier discussion, for construction that was in process for the most, picked up by the assessor. Had some septic approvals, which is pretty standard fare these days. Webinar notice for NRRA summer webinars, and we're building points for New Hampshire Beautiful, where we get signs as part of our transfer station. NRRA is associated with that. And zoning board application for a variance was put in, and there's a notice for, that was the 9th, I believe, is when they're, tomorrow night, there'll be an online hearing.
Tonight.
Is it tonight? Tonight there's a hearing. That's all. Usually the ZBA's on Wednesday.
I think it was the 9th.
That's what I thought I saw the 9th.
Let it right in there.
Yeah. Okay. So,
Confirm it.
yeah, I'd probably quiz the, zoning board chair on the date, I guess. Just to verify, because if it isn't tonight, it would typically be tomorrow or Wednesday.
Question for Chuck, this is Chris. Previously you had said that the engineering contract was ended as requested by the state being DES.
Yes. DES. Yeah, apparently their standard contract language requires that be in there.
Yeah. Be a signature deal. Okay, I'm gonna jump ahead of the town administrator's comments here and do two quick pieces of business. One is to announce that the dump stickers are going to be available again this weekend. Was that what we decided yesterday?
Yes, Saturday, starting Saturday.
So dump stickers will be available at the transfer station. By the end of the month, we're gonna be looking for that to be a mandatory item to have when you go through the transfer station starting the month of July. And since we have Chief Burbank in the audience here, has brought forward a new, apparently there's somebody else that wants to be a member of the fire department, is a licensed AEMT, and works presently for Action Ambulance. Have I got that correct, Randy? Anything else we should know about this individual?
She said already licensed AEMT, which is the next step up, we have PBC, give her record. So she can start lines and for certain roads. Already licensed, she has 5 days off a week, so we do 2 24-hour shifts. She'll be around, we have time for there's not that many people around.
Great. Is she pursuing paramedic license?
I don't know. She did pass her driver's investigation. What's going to do fingerprints right now because it's over. But she just had it done before she went higher action, so she did a copy of it. Okay,
great. Yeah, that sounds great. I'll make a motion to approve. Her name is Mary. Casper, and I want to make sure. Yep, Mary Casper. Made those faux pas before. To be a member of the Effingham Fire Department.
I'll second that.
Mr. Hartman.
All right.
Aye.
Al and I. One more live one for you there, Chief. All right. So with that, I'm going to go back to the town administrator's comments, and if Brian had anything to share with us today.
I only got one, and it's quick. The checks arrived for the COVID-19 first responder supplemental pay.
Wow, that's pretty good turnaround. Pretty good turnaround.
Okay, now, those are the stipends for
Police and fire.
Okay. Are we going to lump sum those to these folks or weekly? Because I'd probably be in favor of a lump sum, but I leave that open for discussion.
I thought you already made that decision, so that's what I was gonna do.
Okay, well, now that they're here, the checks are here, I'd like to make sure everybody, that's our course of action.
Yeah.
Yep.
Getting, okay.
Yes.
All right, so the point.
The nodding doesn't work on.
It will lump sum at the end of the time period.
Okay. Just, that works.
Because Burbank sometimes puts people in and takes people out by week.
Okay. All right, we'll leave the logistics of the payment to you and Chief Burbank and to the police department. I'll weigh in on it, but that's the way I guess we'd like to see it go out. I imagine a lot of folks would probably appreciate that too, because, you don't get used to that and you have a windfall at some point.
And when will the end of the period be?
It was 8 days and, 8 weeks and 2 days from next week, June 30th, or is June 30th? Is June 30th.
Yeah, I have to go back and look at it exactly.
Remember, the duration was 8 weeks, 2 days, but start date eludes me. There you go. May 4th to June 30th. All right, that's all you got there, Brian?
That's it.
Wow, I'm liking you today. We're getting out of here.
I don't know, that depends on the three of you, because you're next.
Well, I'm gonna, go back to one other piece of old business, but, I think that might be, is this old business and abatement portion for the Governor Wentworth Regional School District's tax?
That was a request by Selectmen
Oh,
to keep that on, and you were all set to keep it on, you were gonna discuss it.
All right, well then I'll just, turn it over to Selectman Hart for his.
All right, on that note, I just got a couple of things. I meant to make another one, I didn't. These are what I picked up on the Shaker School District.
Okay.
They did. You take it home and go through and read it. I thought maybe next week with the work session, discuss if we wanna act on it, if we wanna just see other towns with it, around, you know.
Yep.
And see if we can go from there with it. If no one else wants them, maybe we discuss doing it, just put a letter in.
So, without reading this whole thing in the moment,
That's what I said, take it home, because there's a lot of different information there, what there.
but just to kind of give a rough summary, it looks like they found, the school district looks like it's not recognizing some costs because they're not holding classes.
Not our school district.
Right, no, this has been Belmont, the Shaker Regional School District. So what they're essentially doing is looking to divvy up some money back to the towns.
Right.
The town.
Because of all the services that weren't used during this COVID-19.
Right, so there's things they're not going to be paying for, so they're looking to funnel those unexpended funds back to the towns.
Yeah, the examples they have in here are canceled field trips, reduction in daily transportation, co-curricular activities, spring sports, lower utility costs. So there's areas where the school district has obviously saved money.
Yeah, that would make sense as, okay, yeah, we'll look at that. And so what you're proposing, Tom, is that we might take a version of this and circulate it to the school and the other towns in the district and present that as a potential to the school. Maybe they could do something for us.
Savings for the town,
Yes.
you know.
Yeah, well, the parents are effectively teaching their children right now at home. I think that would be a pretty good move on the school district's part.
Yeah.
Recognize that. I'm all in, so.
I good.
Cool, great, let's see what we can do. Maybe we can make a difference on that one.
Draft a cover letter.
Thanks, Tom, that could be a big one. Should it yield evidence?
I think I told you guys, I'll just repeat it again, no, Friday, Waste Management's coming up, finally got an appointment. Like the cable between 9 and 11, they'll be up there to change the oils, the fittings. We looked at the proposal last week from them. Yep, the oil change and the fittings. They'll be doing that. I haven't had a chance, we talked yesterday about the turnbuckle, and, I'm gonna call Waste Management this afternoon. About the compactor being put in wrong. Yep. Turnbuckle and all. See what we can do on that, maybe. See what they're gonna do on that. And this afternoon, I'll also make a call out for the pricing for the concrete oil containment system with the barrels and, put it all together. Cause we've different companies do different things, and I'll put that together.
Okay, an alternate,
Just to what,
Yeah.
so you compare Chuck's, what he brought forward yesterday at the work session, which I think is a nice piece of equipment to have. Just get other prices and see what's there.
all right,
Out there. And that's it for me.
nice.
And when you talk to them, you're gonna talk about the no-through trucking also.
Yeah.
Chuck?
All right, only a few things. The office forwarded out an email that, one of the participants in the Bailey Road culvert analysis wants a follow-up call to discuss the rankings. How do we normally handle something like that?
What?
The rankings.
We could do that,
How's it normally done, or have we done it before?
well, this has been a new process for us, so, I think that's like public information 91A stuff, except these people are involved in this process. So I think you were maintaining all the information that we had. If you wanted to respond to that, that would be great.
I can do that.
And then if you wanted to, if they wanted to see the rankings or whatever we had, we certainly could supply that to them.
Yep.
As well as if they really wanted a digital copy of what everybody submitted from the engineering companies, I don't see why we couldn't provide that too, because I mean, certainly it tells a story. If you put in your proposal and it was this and it wasn't as shiny and fancy as the other proposal, you know, I mean, what more explanation do you need?
All right, I can do that. I'll follow up. I went down on Saturday morning to work with Randy to get the new fire department email set up. And we weren't able to set it up. The system is, well, I think we ought to nominate it for one of the town antiques for our equipment, because it needs to be replaced and upgraded. But it's not currently in our technology stack. It's one the fire department has had. So I talked to Randy, and I'm recommending we make sure we add this PC to the town technology contract, so it gets upgraded with the security and other things that are there with Office 365 and some of the other stuff, to basically get it back into shape. I am going to try and see if I can figure out how to get an older outline process for adding the email to that specific computer now. It's going to just take a little work. It's not going to happen quick. The software is so old that I've got the steps I have right now to go in and add the email don't even apply to that machine. So
what's the timeline on getting a new PC?
Well, it hasn't been discussed, other than the fact that we found out, you know, Randy was basically saying that the fire department's had the machine. He's not aware that it's on the town technology stack, and I don't think it is. We need to make sure it gets added to that, because it is basically fire department equipment that we can support. But I'm thinking sometime before the end of the year, into the budget for next year, we take a look at upgrading a PC similar to one, you know, the one with the refurbished new one we bought at the library last year was like $225. And I know we just bought another one through the COVID thing for a little bit more than that, but not much more than that. So it's not a big expense. It just needs to be upgraded.
So, Randy, since you're here, do you have money in your budget for a purchase of a PC? Is that something you've been interested in pursuing?
We didn't put anything in the budget for it, no. Why did the budget committee test it?
I know where you're going with that one. So what about for equipment? Do you have money for just equipment under your line?
The equipment line item is for 2 sets a year, which we've already purchased. The ladder, which we've already purchased. I have to see what's left.
Yeah.
Our budget for equipment, there's really no fluff in there.
Yeah.
The only thing we could do is, we had a hose system, do a couple lengths of hose, pull off the next year by the hose.
Well, if you have a line item that you're going to have excess funds in this year because of whatever the situation is, you could theoretically divert some funds there.
Might have some extra training, because trainings are being canceled, right, because of COVID.
Right.
But we did have one person look at part once, and one just took the capacity in March.
All right. I'll do some homework with Brian on
Okay.
a replacement PC and a cost item, so by next meeting I'll have some information. But we're talking something in the $300 range or less, so it's not a big expense, but it is still an expense.
Right. No,
and then get it added to the contract, you know, immediately.
And on Randy's end, though, I just want to, the reason I'd be pushing this is because if this thing's so antiquated, this is actually the computer you use to write grants, is it not? It is. And you bring in tens of thousands of dollars.
The rate of return on that is $1 million.
That's why I pursued.
All right, yeah.
Make that abundantly clear.
I'm not gonna have Windows XL anymore.
Well, we're gonna get you a computer that doesn't have a crank on the side. How about that?
Yeah.
Mr. Burke,
We do not wanna add the computer he's got now to the contract.
I would agree.
Because that will increase the price on the contract, and I happened to stop by, because Randy was looking for a spreadsheet, and he couldn't get the lines on the grid lines. And I opened up his Excel program, and it is so old, it does not allow you to add the grid lines if you don't put them in the beginning. I'm not sure it's even Windows 7.
It's old.
So, I just wanna say that we don't want to add that.
Until we make a decision on a purchase and then look at
And
it.
the other thing is you will have a spare computer once COVID-19 dies down, because we bought it for the, town clerk tax collector to be able to remotely access, and she does not want it once COVID-19 is over.
Right.
So, that's a computer that's up, running, and, up to date with 10.
well, there, again, I think some work was being done on other pieces of equipment out back, for some other offices, so I think there's a segue. There may be an opening to put that to good use, so we'll follow up. That's the fellow things.
I just heard you say by the end of the year, when you were talking about.
Well, originally, knowing that things are tight, but if Randy, because of the training, if there's money there, we ought to do it now, because there is a risk.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking,
There's a business risk.
rather than later, I think.
Yeah. So, but I'll do some homework this week with Brian. Next week we'll have something to put in front of you to talk about.
Great.
I sent out information last week from NHMA around a state broadband survey. And I kind of put it out to over 50 people in my email list.
It is.
But those that are willing to do that is a statewide survey to really take a look at the internet capabilities across the state to determine future funding needs to get that kind of thing done at a state and federal level. So if you get a chance to do it, do it. It is asking for your specific street address, which is important. So I didn't do it, but I think for the town offices, I'll go back in the next day or so, and I'll complete the survey for the fire department address, 68 School Street, and the library. So I'll basically, put each of those addresses in and fill out what I know to be the technology needs for those.
You probably ought to include the transfer station also.
But there's nothing there, so I can't. You need to go in and say, what's your speed today? And we've got nothing there, so.
I did that, I took that.
I appreciate that.
A few minutes.
Yeah, it literally, it says 3 to 5 minutes, and I think I did it in 2.5. So, it's pretty straightforward. But that'll help down the road somehow. The last item I have today is just a reminder, and it's a commercial. Today at 6 o'clock, starting tonight for 24 hours, there's an online fundraising campaign through New Hampshire Gives. The Historic Town Hall Project and Effingham Preservation Society are listed there under Effingham Preservation Society. For those that are willing to do any online donation and do it fairly early tonight, 6 o'clock or shortly thereafter, there is a 1-for-1 grant match. The first $250,000 that comes in will get matched dollar for dollar. So if there's anybody so inclined, please do.
Oh, I'm gonna be so excited if we go for a second Tuesday. Oh, that's good.
No, good. That's it. Thank you.
Awesome. I have a question about this, the money that's being collected for this purpose at the Town Hall Library. Being involved early on and through some of the meetings when I was able to attend, I think I made a fair amount of them.
And you've been copied on all the written documentation.
Right, so I've been kind of trying to stay in the loop. Like with Brian and the office staff, I get so many emails sometimes and skimming through stuff because my head's gonna explode. But, whatever happened to the thermometer that was gonna be placed out in front of the building?
The whiteboard was done. It was done shortly after frost kicked in, so there was no way to get it up. And I actually saw it, saw the boards in the front hall last week when I was in there doing something, and I made a couple of telephone calls to see if we can get something up there within the next couple weeks.
Okay.
Because we are, 57, 58% of the goal that we want by December. And it would be nice, based on the way some of these campaigns are coming in, that, the plant sale exceeded expectations like huge, because we thought we'd raise about $1,000, and we actually ended up with $2,273. So it was really thankful to people that did that. So they got some plants, but they made a donation. Everything we're collecting between now and December, assuming we're going to get our LCHIP grant, would be matched dollar for dollar. So that $2,273 just doubled as a result of that when we get the LCHIP grant.
Well, part of why I'm bringing this up is it's that time of year. People from out of state and everywhere is coming here. Maybe the library isn't open, so you wouldn't be exposed to a lot of things, but people do drive by.
Yep.
And I think there would be a significance in seeing that there's a progression there. I know the plant sales and other things. You have the Smile program on Amazon orders that you buy. There's a percentage.
Right, goes to Effingham Preservation Society, yeah.
And getting some buzz on these things, any way you can get it noticed, and that might be a nice reminder of people, piques people's interest, what's going on. And Steve Regal with collecting the aluminum, cans around town. I see there's a lot of collection taking place. I don't know how much money's going to come out of it.
In 6 weeks, we've crushed 1,125 pounds of cans. So we've got over half a ton already in 6 weeks. I know. So people are doing a nice job volunteering for that.
Yeah.
And he comes around regularly and checks the container out here in front of the building, the container in front of the library, so if somebody can't get in the transfer station, they can still there. He's also got a couple containers over at the Ossipee campground.
Oh, wow.
So they're actually involved with it too. So it's actually, the aluminum can thing is working really well. You're right. There isn't a hell of a lot of money in aluminum. It's like 15 cents a pound or somewhere in that area, but the price goes up and down periodically. So Chris has been feeding me the rate sheet occasionally, so I can track it with NRRA, but it hasn't been going up. So,
well, I mean,
but it's one of the ways to help raise money.
It's an awareness thing, and it's multifaceted, and that's why I think if that thermometer was out front of that building, it would convey a message to people. It might just enough that people would say, what's going on, and you might see that as a benefit.
Yep. Okay.
All right.
I'll put that higher on the list. Thank you.
It's not my
I appreciate the feedback. You're right, because the awareness with the aluminum can thing, just with the signage we've got down on the trailer collector at the transfer station. Marcus said a bunch of people have asked him, like, what is that?
Yeah.
So he's taking the opportunity to explain what's going on, and people are like, wow, okay, I got cans. And some of the people who got ready to throw stuff into the compactor stood back, went over, took the cans out first, then threw this stuff in the compactor. So, yeah, people are willing to help, and it's going to help the town, too, because we're not going to have to pay to have that tonnage taken away.
So I guess that probably opens up my thoughts here on, you're taking direct donations for this project and stuff. Do we have anything, any kind of signage that kind of would be informative to the average person driving through town who's here for the summer or whatnot, that there's an avenue to donate, or... I'm sorry if I'm kind of messing with you.
No. Look, at this point, any way that we can come up with getting the word out is important. We've got the website, the business website for the project, the Historic Town Hall project. And so far, so we launched that like the second week of December, and so far off the website, we brought in over $5,700 in donations.
Nice.
So that is working, but that's if somebody wanted to know detail, that's probably the one area that's got the best detail out of it. We've also got a Facebook website, Historic Town Hall of Effingham, New Hampshire. We're basically trying to put blog information up there and other picture information and things like that. And there's actually donate capability on that site. And so far on Facebook, and we started this in March, we brought in like $1,416 or something like that with donations from Facebook. So it's a multiple way of doing things. And the key thing is to just get people to take either the Facebook address and share it with other people they know outside of the state, because there's a lot of people that we have now that they live here, they've got a second place here, but they live out of state. They're beginning to follow it. And we've got people following as far as way Chicago at this point. So from that standpoint, people want to understand what the history stuff is. Every time I do a history article and pop it on there, I can watch the hits go right up because of the view capability. So we're looking to do more of that, at least one article a month on the history of the building. So I guess, but signage coming into town, I don't know how we.
Well, just off the top of my head.
Yeah.
Sorry to interrupt you there. If you were trying to direct people to where they could donate or where they find more information, because like you say, you go to the transfer station, you see there's a drive, but then it becomes, if I have an interest, where would I go? So just building off the transfer station, leaving the transfer station, I'm going down to the gate down the hill. Right in front of you, you can't leave a sign up through the winter there, but for this season, you might be able to put a sign up there just per se, and directing people to the donations and where you would go. I guess that's what I'm looking for, a visual aid.
Yeah, so the banners which we did for the aluminum can dry, I just made a modification in the next batch that we just did.
Okay.
That Steve's taken over to the Ossipee Campground, which does similar to what you just described. It's like, here's the project with the project logo, here's fundraising for more information, here's the website address kind of thing, so people can see it and go in and take a look at it. Because we direct links from Facebook, if you learn more, direct you to the business website. That's one of the reasons we're getting the donations is the people that are seeing the Facebook site are clicking to learn more, and when they do, they start getting into the history part of it. So we're doing more history in the site over time.
Well, and this is just my thoughts, like the transfer station, I picked that because that's a target audience too, people that have a connection to the town, typically. And if you had something like you just described.
I could do a banner like that and actually do something on a couple of posts out near the road on the library, on the town hall. There's a way, I got it. I appreciate that input. I'll tackle it. I have thought about it.
Well, I'm figuring if you're driving out, like I said, in that particular location, it might be a prime location, but anyway, I'm just figuring, if people see something, it's.
Yep. So.
All right. Sorry to put you on the spot, Chuck.
Not a problem.
Good job, Chuck.
It's one of my favorite topics.
All right, well, let's see. I know we've probably have some things going on for next week to continue ongoing work sessions. We started chipping away at a number of things yesterday, including the personnel policy, reviewing of the budget. Dave Strauss had sent a couple of other communications, which I got this morning. I'm sure you all did too. You probably haven't had a time to look at them. So he's targeted a couple areas, I think, Brian, for you to investigate. So,
Just a quick dirty on what I just looked at.
Oh, sure.
Basically, and this is up to you to make the decision, he wants to move all internet costs from all departments into the Selectmen's computer budget.
And I think that would probably be a thing to sit down. I think we probably should consider that and sit down and look at what we've been doing in the past, because I think that's part of what he was tying in some of this to the past, which I have some older budgets I have pulled together. Right now, I'm not sure where we want to go with that. I mean,
I don't think you budgeted for that to happen.
Well, that's
line item.
Right.
So that's my only. I'll put it wherever you
And it's
want.
the individual line item, not the bottom line for the department.
Right.
We can either, I'm going to call it fix, for lack of a better word, where things should be better from an accounting standpoint. We can either do it as we go along, or we can accumulate all these things and put them together, and we say for next year's budget, here's where all the changes are. But I think we need to capture it one way or the other to make sure we do the changes. Because, I liked yesterday in the work session when you used the term communication services for phone and internet all into one line item. I like that. That's probably where it should go. It's not broken out, the internet's not broken out on anything in our budgets. It's just there in the computer section. And I'm okay leaving it in there as long as everybody understands when we get to, budget time, we're gonna make some changes for the following year.
Well, and that's what I'm seeing is going down the road for next year, restructure that chart of accounts. I'm a little hesitant to start moving things in the chart of accounts midstream.
It'll confuse people.
Things get a little weird sometimes. But, so on that one, I think there's some concerns that Dave has brought forward, and we were going through some invoice stuff I'm still gonna get into assessing, and there's a few things. So I would put that into a work session to follow up on, Brian, I would think, along with some information you've just recently provided us. I think that's our next work session. We could probably set out an hour to go into personnel policy and maybe, whatever time to tackle the budget and have those as our two primary items with the exception of, I know Chief Burbank, have you gotten finalized on those policies that you were working on for us to making changes?
No, I haven't got to the firearm policy.
Okay.
The other one is.
All right. Well, to move them into a public hearing, we probably want to package them together. So I would say those would be the two primary things, unless I'm missing something. And then if the chief gets
we'll do an hour in a block, an hour on the personnel, hour on the budget, hour on something else, and that's it for that meeting.
Yeah, I think that would probably be a good.
What day would you like?
I know I'm starting to get some things booked up here. Where am I? Okay. We are into next week. The 15th is a Monday, which I'm surprisingly open on.
Okay.
You're booked on Monday? Okay. Yeah, we're moving our Tuesday meeting next week to 5 o'clock because I'm tied up in a legal matter for the town in Conway, North Conway. I don't know. I guess Wednesday's probably the earliest date I have open, and the 17th.
Wednesday, Thursday.
I'm good. Wednesday or Thursday.
Okay, what do you prefer, Wednesday or Thursday?
Wednesday.
Wednesday? Wednesday has it. What time would you like to do this?
9 o'clock works.
9 a.m. All right. Work session it is. And, Chief, if you get any material squared away by then, we'll happily entertain you in that work session. I know it's hard to predict what kind of fires and catastrophes and stuff you'll be dealing with between now and then, so. If you make it, you make it.
And you're running it until 1 p.m.
Excuse me?
I wouldn't put it
No.
in time.
Noon time. I'm out of here. 9 to noon. 3 hours.
9 to 2, did you say?
9 to noon. 3 hours.
Well,
I'm good, I'm just.
Yep. Nope.
we're gonna start a work session at 9. When it ends, I'm not gonna actually say that, but there's a goal here, obviously. Let's not make that hard.
I'm going to manage it a little tighter by topic.
That would be nice. Let's get control. Other than that, the one other thing is I'm going to ask for some dates from Mr. Hatch over at Action Ambulance. We had talked about potentially having him come in, having a little meeting with us, and just to follow up on some issues. So I will get back to you when that can take place. So I'll reach out to Mr. Hatch. Other than that, I had some follow-up questions on the paving companies, one of which has provided information. There's 2 that didn't give us certain items here, and I may have forwarded that because they didn't have the town email address as I was running out the door, so I just had sent it to me. Otherwise, I have that information here in hard copy, so we could make some copies if you should like to have that. I don't think I have a ton of stuff that I want to go into at this point, so I'm going to just call it a day. Oh, wait, Christine brought forward that we did put a notice in the newspaper for a public hearing just so that we have input on the USDA grant. Should we actually be awarded the money, that we're going to invite the public here to discuss it prior to us receiving any money, no guarantee, but then we'll have the public's input going forward, and that's a requirement of the USDA grant. So that's on the 23rd with a couple of rain dates, which is the 24th and the 26th, all at 11 o'clock should we have an issue on the 23rd. They will be here behind the building, the municipal offices at 68 practice social distancing. I think that's in the ad that's running in the paper. We'll have some chairs, and then we'll have a nice little fresh air forum. Chuck, did you?
Yeah, it's the USDA grant relative to Snow Road Bridge project.
Exactly, thank you. And I think that's it. Anybody, Randy, did you have any more items for us today?
No, it's, we're gonna have a lot of extra casing training. Wednesday night, the 17th will be the classroom, and the 20th Saturday, cutting up cars on the 20th.
Saturday, you're cutting up cars. Right. Classroom, not so much. Cutting up cars Saturday at the Station 2?
Correct.
That's the big fire station for anybody who's not familiar with Station 2 is a big one right down there on 153 by past the library, that area. What is that? 1102. 1102.
And it could be one of the big events for the year.
Yeah.
What time?
Yep. The time is
Yeah.
9
They'll have the hot dog and the hamburger truck set up out there too for spectators.
Coffee, donuts, Danish,
Donation booth.
T-shirts.
Oh yeah. You gotta
Aluminum can collection?
sell your T-shirts and mugs, man. Come on. You guys still selling that stuff? You still have a supply of that? Oh, okay. There you go. That's another opportunity to buy some Effingham shirts. Shamelessly promoting here, yes. All right. Anybody else? Brian, Christine? None of the other employees chose to attend, so I guess we're done.
Make a motion to adjourn.
I'll second that one.
That's a motion for Mr. Hart, seconded by Mr. Fuller. All in favor? Roll call, please.
Couple eye.
Aye.
I'm thinking about it. Aye, I'm out of here. To hell.
Thank you.
Thank you, everyone.